Have you ever watched someone break your trust and walk away as if nothing happened? No apology, no regret, no explanation, just silence. And while they continued living their life, you were left carrying the pain. You replayed conversations. You questioned yourself. You wondered if they ever cared at all. But what if the story didn't end there? What if the moment they broke your trust was actually the beginning of a lesson life was preparing for them? Today, we're exploring 10 powerful psychology signs that often appear after someone betrays trust. These signs aren't about revenge. They're about human nature, emotional consequences, and the lessons people eventually learn when they take genuine loyalty for granted. And make sure you stay until the end because the final sign is often the most painful lesson of all. Welcome to Psychotherapy. Before we begin, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for more psychology facts, relationship insights, and personal growth content. And if someone has ever broken your trust, comment below, "I chose healing." Let's see how many strong people are watching today. The first sign is that they start missing what they took for granted. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming certain people will always be there. When someone is constantly supportive, understanding, loyal, and available, their presence can start to feel normal, expected, guaranteed. And that's where appreciation often disappears. Imagine someone who always answered your calls, supported your goals, and stood beside you during difficult times. At first, that support feels ordinary, but once it's gone, everything changes. Psychologists often explain that human beings notice losses more intensely than gains. In simple terms, people feel the pain of losing something more strongly than the happiness of having it. That's why many people don't realize your value while you're there. They realize it after you're gone. Months later, they remember your kindness, your patience, your loyalty, and suddenly, what once seemed ordinary becomes impossible to replace. The second sign is that guilt appears when distractions fade. When someone hurts another person, they often distract themselves from the consequences. They stay busy. They focus on work. They spend time with new people. They fill every empty moment with noise. But eventually, life becomes quiet, and that's when the mind starts talking. Psychology shows that people naturally want to view themselves as good individuals. When their actions conflict with that image, emotional discomfort begins to grow. At first, they ignore it. Then they justify it. Then they defend it. But eventually, the truth starts finding its way through those defenses. Late at night, during lonely moments, during personal struggles, they begin remembering things they tried to forget, and guilt becomes harder to escape. The third sign is that they compare everyone to you. Many people leave healthy relationships believing something better exists. A better partner, a better friend, a better opportunity, a better connection. But reality often looks different from imagination. At first, everything feels exciting. New people, new experiences, new attention, but excitement fades. And when it does, comparison begins. The new people don't understand them the way you did. The new connections don't feel as safe. The loyalty isn't the same. The emotional support isn't the same. Without realizing it, they begin comparing everyone to the person they left behind. And that's often when regret starts growing. The fourth sign is that your absence becomes their lesson. Sometimes people only understand your importance after experiencing your absence. Your messages disappear. Your support disappears. Your encouragement disappears. The comfort of knowing you're there disappears. At first, they may not notice, but eventually they do. The silence becomes noticeable. The emptiness becomes noticeable. And the role you played in their life becomes impossible to ignore. Life often teaches through absence, not punishment. Not revenge, absence. And absence can be one of life's greatest teachers. The fifth sign is that they become curious about your life again. Have you ever noticed how people sometimes disappear and then suddenly start paying attention again? Maybe they view your social media. Maybe they ask mutual friends about you. Maybe they quietly look for updates. This happens because human beings are naturally curious about opportunities they lost, especially when they aren't sure they made the right decision. They wonder if you're happy. They wonder if you've moved on. They wonder if someone else now occupies the place they once had. And sometimes that curiosity becomes impossible to ignore. The sixth sign is that they experience similar pain themselves. Life has an interesting way of creating understanding. Sometimes people don't truly understand heartbreak until they experience heartbreak. They don't understand betrayal until they're betrayed. They don't understand disappointment until they're disappointed. Psychologists call this perspective through experience. It's one thing to hear about pain. It's another thing to live through it. And when people eventually face situations similar to the ones they created, their understanding changes dramatically. Suddenly, they see things from your perspective. Suddenly, they understand emotions they once ignored. And suddenly, your pain becomes real to them. The seventh sign is that they realize trust is rare. In today's world, genuine trust is becoming increasingly valuable. Many relationships are temporary. Many connections remain superficial. Many people hide their true intentions. That's why trust is one of the most precious things someone can receive. But people often don't understand that until it's gone. After losing someone trustworthy, they begin meeting people who are inconsistent, dishonest, unreliable, self-centered. And that's when they realize how rare genuine loyalty actually is. The lesson becomes clear. Trust is easy to destroy, but incredibly difficult to replace. The eighth sign is that they begin questioning their choices. Time changes perspective. A decision that felt right during an emotional moment may feel very different years later. They start asking difficult questions. What if I had been more patient? What if I had communicated better? What if I had appreciated them more? What if I had stayed? These questions don't always have answers, and sometimes they stay with people for a very long time. The human mind naturally revisits important decisions, especially the ones connected to regret. The ninth sign is that your growth becomes impossible to ignore. This is where the story starts changing, because while they're looking backward, you're moving forward. You're healing, learning, growing, becoming stronger. The pain that once kept you awake at night slowly transforms into wisdom. The heartbreak becomes resilience. The disappointment becomes strength. And eventually something incredible happens. You stop focusing on what they lost. You start focusing on who you're becoming. When they see that growth, it often surprises them. Not because they expected you to fail, but because they underestimated your ability to rise. And nothing is more powerful than someone who turned pain into personal growth. The 10th and final sign is that they understand your worth too late. This is perhaps the most painful lesson life teaches. Many people believe important things will always remain available. They believe they can leave and return whenever they want. They believe opportunities last forever. But life doesn't always work that way. Sometimes the door closes. Sometimes people move on. Sometimes healing creates a new chapter that no longer includes the person who caused the pain. And when that happens, they finally understand your value. Not because someone told them. Not because they were forced to. But because reality revealed it. The truth is that some lessons arrive late, and some realizations arrive after opportunities have already disappeared. But here's the most important message in today's video. Your healing should never depend on their regret. Your happiness should never depend on their apology. Your future should never depend on their realization. Real healing begins when you stop waiting for someone else to understand your worth and start recognizing it yourself. Because your value never depended on their ability to see it. You were valuable before they arrived. You were valuable when they hurt you, and you're valuable now. If this video resonated with you, comment below and tell us which sign affected you the most. And if someone you know is struggling after having their trust broken, share this video with them. It might be exactly what they need to hear today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more psychology facts and relationship insights from psychotherapy. Remember this. Someone breaking your trust says more about their character than your worth. Keep growing, keep healing, and let life handle the lessons that only life can teach. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.